Hey guys, it's Caesar.
And I'm Carla.
Welcome to another episode of Carla and Caesar's Modern Life.
Episode 47.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
First episode of April.
That's right.
Yeah, first episode of spring as well.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel? How you feel in spring?
Oh my God, I love spring.
Yeah.
Like just the last couple weeks since the time changed.
Yeah.
I feel like it's made such a difference. Like just the fact that it's brighter earlier and yeah.
Yeah, I like to be outside when the sun's out, or like I like to be even at work and I can see that the sun's still out, and it's like, oh, sometimes I get off at 7 or around 8 and it's still a little bit light, and I'm like, hell yeah.
I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been a minute since we've done an episode. I'll talk a little bit about like what I've done so far. I haven't really. I mean, I've been doing more of the same, like we both have, just living our lives. Obviously, still running a small business. But one of the milestones that we're celebrating now is 8 years of the Rodriguez Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It's funny because we did the show last year and we were celebrating 7 years of the show.
Right.
So there's still we've been doing podcasting since we did the 7 years. And now there's going to be another event just like I did last year, but this one is going to be at a bar in downtown Santa Ana. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be May 12th, and it's at El Rincón Mexicano, and that's going to be the 8-year anniversary of the Rodriguez Show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be cool.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah. The week actually that this is dropping is on Friday or Saturday, the 15th, is the 8-year anniversary of the show.
Congrats, honey.
Thanks. Yeah. Hey, we haven't missed a week in 8 years. And it's one of those things where we were going to do something in April, but there was too many things going on in April, specifically the first weekend in April. Like the day we're recording this is Thursday, and this Saturday, the 8th, is like so many events back to back to back, where it's like that usually would have been the time to do the event, but I was like, nah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's exciting, and I'm just, it's another year, another celebration. And I'm just in a different place than I was a year ago, thinking back at like a year ago in April, I had just quit my job at Gelato. And so I feel like I've never returned to that amount of stress since then. Like no matter how bad I felt, it's never been like the worst that I felt there. Like it's never been as bad as like one bad day over there. So
yeah, that's awesome.
I feel different.
Yeah, good. That makes me really happy for you because what a way to like your job it shouldn't be like life sucking. So happy that we both made those decisions last year, and yeah,
we're just gonna keep going. And yeah, so one of the things that's also happening this weekend is Coachella, and we're gonna get to our Coachella stories. But first, I know you've done a few things since the last time we recorded. So what have you been up to?
Well, a lot of the same. But just like I feel like constantly elevating. Like if that makes sense. Like I just feel like the longer I am consistent with my habits of like doing the things that make me feel good, the more I can see myself like slowly evolving into like a more authentic version of myself. I've just been like reading really good books, and recently I've been inspired to really look into like human design and like my own personal human design, and it makes me want to be able to like tell people about their human design. And so just yesterday I was telling you about possibly wanting to take classes on how to do readings for people. I definitely want to think about it a little bit more and make sure it's not like an impulsive decision.
Yeah, what is human design though?
Human design is kind of like another version of like a personality test. Actually, no, it's not, because it's based off of your birth, place, and time. And it just basically is like a snapshot of where everything was in the universe when you were born. And it basically, it's like whatever contract your soul made with like the universe to like come carry out like a certain like message, or just, I don't even know. It's like whatever your soul decided that they were coming to Earth, like to learn whatever lessons we needed to. So it is basically like who you are in essence, like at your core, before any programming, or like before like your parents had any like influence on you. And so it's basically something that you can always like come back to.
Wow.
And so I think it's super cool. It definitely resonates with me. And I know that when I've read stuff to you, it has also resonated.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just have so many other classes that I'm doing at the moment that I feel like I want to finish everything before I move on to that. But at the same time, like as like one of the types, which is mine, is a manifesting generator. Like one of the characteristics is that like you are always like finding different things that like light you up. And yeah, anyways, it's super interesting. If you haven't looked yours up, you should. I'm sure there's like, if you type in human design free test, you can figure out what yours is. I've just really been enjoying like being able to apply everything that I'm learning like in real life. And I'm actually going to be a guest. Well, by the time this comes out, I will have already been a guest on the 30s podcast, which I'm super excited about. At the time of this recording, I'm going to do it in a couple days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, yeah, I have no idea what to expect. I mean, I kind of do because I watch their show, but I feel like they always have different topics that they want to talk about. So I didn't really ask. They didn't really like tell me what the episode's about, but I'm excited either way. And yeah.
Nice. And then you're also celebrating 1 year at your job, right?
I am.
How's
So
that?
wild. It's already been a year. I remember when I first started working there, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure if it's for me or not. I remember talking about it on the show. And it's just crazy because I feel like I've made so many friends and like everyone has been so like just great at like, if not like at like teaching me something, at like being an example of like someone that I admire for like their authenticity or like their skills, or like just I feel like everyone there is always like either like doing a new project or like just picking up new hobbies or applying to schools. And so it's been super inspiring, aside from the work itself being like satisfying. And so I'm just super grateful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Shout out to you and your job. Shout out to everybody
Thank
from
you.
your job that watches.
Yes.
Yeah, and then so another thing that's happening this week, it's a big thing. It's Coachella 2023, featuring headliners Bad Bunny, BTS, and Frank Ocean.
Dang.
Yeah, this is one of the first Coachellas. Well, actually, I mean, last one too. The last one from last year that we're not going to go to. But I'm excited to watch it all on the couch because this is the first time they're doing all the stages, both weekends, all streamed on YouTube.
So crazy.
So no matter what band, if the most obscure band on fucking Saturday at 1 p.m., you'll be able to watch them.
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Like, who'd have thought? I'm so surprised that they're not charging money for that.
I know. Don't give me any ideas. The thing is, like, it just sucks because this is the first time that I remember Coachella not selling out. Like, every other year, it's been hard to get a ticket for one. Because even last year it was Harry Styles, right? So last year, people wanted to see Harry Styles. And this year's Bad Bunny, and people want to see Bad Bunny. But
yeah,
I think $600 is too much for one ticket for people.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the reflection that Coachella was like, man, like, obviously, like, a festival like that is going to cost a lot of money, like $400 or $500. But $600 in the the situation financially, not just us personally, but I think a lot of people are. Like they're just like, nah, I can't do this.
Yeah, because it's not just that; it's like where to stay and like taking the time off and all that.
Yeah, and I remember when I first started, like the first time I bought a Coachella ticket was $350, and then that was like I guess 10 years ago. Now 11 years ago, 2012. So a little by little, it's been like another 100, another 50, another 100, and now 600. It's like I just can't see myself justify. I mean, yes, I would have if it was like maybe if they would have put Kendrick instead of BTS, then it would have been like holy shit. Like,
can you imagine?
but yeah, I think it's like it's tough for people to go. Like if you all have to want to go if you're in a group, especially with us. Like I feel like if you last year I was gonna go by myself supposedly, but I was like, there's no way I was gonna go by myself. So speaking of Coachella, I wanted us to talk about our Coachella memories. Which one was the first one that you remember going to? Was it 2015?
Yes. 2015 was when we went. We were just friends.
Yeah.
That was probably my favorite time.
Yeah, the favorite Coachella?
Yeah, that was the first time we stayed, or that I stayed at our friend Evan's house or grandma's house out there. And I don't know, just the whole thing was so fun. Like, messing with people with like the doll,
Oh yeah, that was
the Raggedy Ann doll. And like spending time like in the jacuzzi, like spending time in the house basically.
Yeah.
And like pre-gaming, getting ready, like all that stuff is so fun. Obviously like the festival itself too.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Dang.
that really I feel like made a difference, like having a place like that to stay.
So that was the 2015 lineup was AC/DC as the headliner, Tame Impala sub headliner, and then Jack White. So Jack White was the headliner on Saturday, but the weekend was right underneath.
Okay.
So
I couldn't even tell you that that's who was headlining.
it's because we were fans of the weekend, kind of, but it wasn't the weekend. It was before I Can't Feel My Face.
Okay.
So it was before he blew up.
Oh,
Like, this
okay.
is like coming off like some of the trilogies, the original albums he released, and then, but once later that year, the Mad and the Beauty Behind the Madness or whatever it's called, that's when it was like, oh shit, The Weeknd is like a mainstream pop star. And then Drake was the headliner for that one, and that was one of the most disappointing headliners I've ever seen.
Yep. For real, it like made me not like Drake.
Yeah, for a long time I was like, what the fuck happened, dude?
Yeah.
And even now, like we've been talking about the most recent stuff that's been going on with Drake on the Rodriguez show is that he'll just
That's true.
he'll show up late to the festivals and just do like the bare minimum and then dip. And it's like, I mean, I get it. Now it makes sense after they booed him off stage at Camp Vlog now, but back then, to 2015, you had something to prove, and he
Right.
failed really bad. Like,
It's like he tried the first weekend and then not the second
it's
weekend.
true, because he even brought out Madonna, remember, and they had that weird kiss the first, and then the second weekend he was like, screw this.
Maybe he was traumatized from that first one. And ever since then.
There was a quote that he said, like, I remember reading in like an article that he said, like, I'll take an L on the first weekend or something, and it was like, then why not try the second weekend? Yeah, I don't know. Drake, I think that's where my love-hate relationship with him kind of started, because it was like he is that guy. He's the guy that you think like the memes are all made up. Like that's him. He's kind of a petty, kind of like immature kind of guy. But that was a really fun one. That was a really fun Coachella. We also went. When else did we go? It wasn't just 2019, right? Did we go after that?
Yeah, we went in 2016.
Oh yeah, that was Guns N'
And-
Roses, LCD Sound System, and Calvin Harris. That was a good one.
Yeah.
That was, I don't remember watching LCD because I wasn't a fan of theirs just yet, but I remember Guns N' Roses I was really excited for because they got back together. We saw A$AP Rocky there too. Yeah, I remember that. That was when it was so windy that we were scared the stage was
Oh, yeah.
because we were looking up and you could see the speakers shaking. Do you
That's
remember
right.
anybody from that one? Calvin Harris. I watched a little bit of his set. Sia, that was crazy because she had a whole
That was cool.
stage like play happening as her set was happening too.
And she was just like in the distance facing the other way singing.
Yeah. But there was like actors up there like acting it out and stuff.
Yeah, that was cool.
Let's backtrack a little bit. Before even Carla and I started going together, I had been to all the Coachellas before that. No, just from 2012, 13, 14, and then I was 15 when we started going together. And 2012 was like probably one of the best years that I've ever... Like, that's probably still, like, in
The
terms
first
of
year?
lineup. Yeah, the first year that I ever went. That was the best lineup out of all of them. And
That's
I
so
feel
cool.
like I'm always chasing, like, that kind of, like, oh, shit, like, that was an amazing lineup.
Yeah.
Because the Black Keys were one of the headliners for Friday, and that was cool because it was a band that was really popping at the time. But then after that, Swedish House Mafia,
Oh, wow.
which at that time too was like the best. They were really big. I had never seen the Arctic Monkeys perform, and that was another one. So Friday was kind of a day where it was like, okay, like this is what Coachella is. But then now looking back on like the rest of the weekend, so Saturday at 1 p.m. on the afternoon, Kendrick Lamar, and that was like his first time like performing at a festival like that, and it was before Good Kid, Mad City because this was in
Dang.
April, and then that came out in October. The Weekend was also on the Sunday lineup, so that was like in the middle of him making those mixtapes that he became popular off of.
Wow.
And then what else? Radiohead, who I mean I had never seen before, and I didn't like them. And then leading up to it, I was like, oh shit, this is crazy. Flying Lotus, he was like fourth line down, a very small name on the lineup. He performed at a small tent, and it was cool to see like him do a DJ set before I mean, he's done a lot of cool stuff, and when we saw him in 3D, that was a cool one too. But
Yeah.
this was like him just up there with his DJ, like just like, hey, I play weird music, but I'm just chilling right here. And then it was cool because he brought out a rapper who was not somebody famous, just somebody that was his friend who just rapped along to the songs, even though they weren't like he did Paris, like Kanye West and Jay-Z, and everybody was like into it, even though
Oh, that's
obviously it
funny.
wasn't them rapping.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
cool.
yeah, and then of course the big headliner in 2012 was Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, which was probably like the best Coachella, one of the best Coachella hits I've ever seen.
With the Tupac hologram.
The Tupac hologram, yeah, and then they brought out Kendrick Lamar, and that was kind of like holy shit, like this is because well Dr. Dre brought out Kendrick, and then Snoop Dogg brought out Wiz Khalifa, and obviously they're not the same level, but they're still people that we talk about this to this day, so
Yeah.
they're still resilient, you know.
That's so cool.
So fast forward to 2017, Kendrick Lamar headlines Coachella for the first time, and that was another one that I got to see a lot of great people at. Radiohead again, Travis Scott was one. That was a cool one. It was really he did the outside stage, so it was like the opposite side of the festival, and it was like at a certain point you couldn't even get too close because there were so many people there to see Travis Scott.
Oh wow.
And then that was the year that Beyonce was gonna do it,
Oh
2017.
yeah.
And it would have been Beyonce and then Kendrick, but then Beyonce got pregnant. And then that was the last time I saw Lady Gaga, so that was cool too.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You weren't expecting that.
No, that was like an added bonus to it. And then, like we said, Kendrick, Lord was a good one too. I watched because I wanted to be in front for Kendrick, so I watched all of Lord's set. I also like Lord, so kind of worked out. Kate Renata was there too. And then 2018 was the year that we were going to tell people that we went, even though we didn't, because that was the year that Beyonce actually headlined.
That's the one box that you bought with an empty, just to have the box to complete your set.
I bought, so every year Coachella tickets, they have a box, and the ticket comes in like a really fancy box, and I had that gap missing in my 2020 in my like boxes because I had them all up to 2020, so I just bought an empty one. Because I saw the documentary and that's close enough. I remember spending all weekend after
Your
work.
life was so transformed.
Yeah, I was watching that all weekend, so if I was like, I was there. Like I watched Tyler the Creator before, and then I watched Beyonce's set. And yeah, I mean that was when you were in training, right? In 2018.
2018, yeah.
Yeah, I remember because I remember you weren't around because we would watch it together. Cardi B was a funny one that year because she was pregnant and she was twerking. Remember that was like a whole thing.
Was she a headliner that year?
No, she was. No, Eminem was the headliner for that
Okay.
that one. And then in 2019, it was a very special one because we got married.
Yes.
So we got married on Thursday.
It was
so,
our honeymoon, mini honeymoon.
So we could go to Coachella that weekend. Headliners were Childish Gambino, Tame Impala, and Ariana Grande. Which I mean, even looking back, like I don't know, like it was a good lineup, but it's not like. That's where it's like, okay, like it's not as big as it could have been or it used to be. Because Ariana Grande, current pop star, but like when you compare it to like Dr. Dre or like Beyonce and stuff, it's like it's not like a holy shit they got this person. you
Yeah.
know? And I think that's when there was rumors that there was like a lot of stuff happening where they were like having trouble like making those like awesome lineups. Because even now, like. Yeah. Let's talk about the one. So, are there any memories in those years that you remember that you want to talk about?
Not really. I think that it just nothing like. I mean, it was good and it was fun, but like it never compared to like the first time I went. I guess.
Yeah, the Drake one.
Yeah, just because like I feel like we never went like as hard.
Yeah.
Like in terms of like partying and stuff, like drinking, whatever, after the first time.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, I feel like we it was like even though we're not old now, but we got older, and then it was like, all right, well, I don't need to be out there all day. Maybe I'll go later in the day.
Yeah.
And that's what we did when we went together later on. Was like, oh, maybe on Saturday we'll go at 4 or 5 instead of like from the beginning of the day.
Right.
And then just that 2015 time was because it was your first time, and then it was my friend Amari, Amari's first time too. So it was like, okay, like they want to go all day every day, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But then after a while, you're like, man, like I'd rather just chill.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why we stopped going. I mean, it's just, after the pandemic, 2020, we had a ticket for like one of the greatest lineups that never happened. Rage Against the Machine, Travis Scott, and Frank Ocean. And so it was just like, all right, like after that didn't happen, it just kind of sucked. And then we didn't go last year. but now it's gonna be back this year.
Yeah.
So, are you excited for this year?
Yeah, I'm excited to be able to like watch some stuff.
Same.
Yeah, we're obviously not going to be there, but yeah, I'm excited to watch Frank Ocean for sure.
Yeah.
Bad Bunny for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's so Frank Ocean. He was actually at the first Coachella that I ever saw, 2012, small tent, and there's clips of it because there was a live stream of the first weekend. And that one he didn't do as well as like he did the second weekend. I think this.
Okay, so you think the same thing is gonna happen this year?
I don't know. I mean, I wonder. It's crazy how at the time of recording it's next weekend, like not this coming weekend, but a couple days from now, a week from now, and we don't know anything about Frank. Like not even like, hey, I have an album or like I don't even know. He hasn't been seen. I mean, within reason, like I get it. Like he went through some stuff during the pandemic. His brother died, who was his younger brother, and so maybe that release that was going to happen in 2020 never did. So it's like he's always somebody that keeps you guessing, where it's like, what is he up to? What's going on? And
Yeah.
so I don't know.
But there hasn't been any speculation about new music or anything.
No, because I mean, for years, remember there was years where it's like something's coming tonight, or like, oh, it's because this, and this, and then eventually it was like, all right,
People stopped hoping.
Yeah, like it was like, well, how long can you keep going in this kind of relationship where you're like, is something coming? And then, and it's mostly like, it's not like even Frank Ocean was like teasing anything. It was just people made up theories in their head and they got excited and then nothing happened.
That's funny.
So yeah, this year I'm excited. I mean, and then Bad Bunny for sure is going to be a good show. Like that's like a guarantee of like, that's going to be good.
Yeah.
BTS also, I think even though I don't know any other songs, I think that they're going to be a spectacle because those K-pop groups, like they train them for years, like before they even go on. Like it's like a well-oiled machine over there, which maybe isn't the healthiest thing for the artists because there's less rules about artists and their creative control, but it's going to be a show.
Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting that this year, like it was like different kinds of music. And not white people were the headliners. Like Bad Bunny his music is mostly in Spanish, so obviously.
Is he the first Latin headliner?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, from looking at the lineups that we've been to, I mean, Rage Against the Machine, they were. It
wouldn't have been before 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So shout out to this year, and yeah, if you are gonna watch it out every year. I mean, I think eventually it would go back, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I think it's just it has to be a great lineup, and it has to be like even now, like maybe like in June, maybe we'll do the pre-order, and then that way like I'll decide in April if I really do want to go or not, or like I'll decide in January when the lineup drops.
Yeah,
because it's tough. It's not easy to get tickets, and we talk about it all the time. But,
right. So more than anything, like the place where you stay to like makes a big difference. Yeah. So
and it sucks over there because they price gouge everything.
Yeah.
So it's like if you want to stay at a good place, you better have at least 8 other people to share 2 rooms with, because that's how much you're going to be able to, if you want it to be affordable,
Yeah. I mean, everyone's situation is different, but for us, that's how we'd have to do it at the moment. But you never know. Next year, we're leveling up all the time. So.
And I have a certain way that I feel about it. Do you feel like when you're there at Coachella, like, how there's like a lot of stereotypes of like, oh, it's only the people trying to like chase clout, or like they're there just for the pictures. But I mean, to me, I mean, what do you think about that?
I mean, I guess I have heard of that, but I never like cared. Like it never deterred me from going or not.
But did you feel that when you were there, that people were like not into what was going on?
I mean, I feel like there's always going to be some like part of that, but I feel like for the most part, like people are genuinely having a good time, like with their friends for the most part. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there are people that are just there to like take pictures.
Yeah.
And say that they were there, but I wouldn't say the majority is like that.
Yeah. I think it gets a bad rap just because it's like such a popular festival where people are like, oh, like you're there just because you're like, it's not because you want to see the music. And it's like, but the thing is they're putting on like amazing lineups. Like obviously like it's always diminishing returns. If you see like the best one, like the best times always going to be 2015 for you, 2012 for me. So it's not going to ever be as good, but at the same time, like you can still see amazing artists do crazy things. Like, like I wouldn't say Kendrick's Damn was like the most amazing one out of all of them, but it was still like, hell yeah, I'm glad I saw this, you know, like see it even, you know, like there's always going to be that.
I was going to say too, like even the outfits, like getting the outfits is really fun. And that might seem superficial to people, but I think it's like, it's so fun. And like, just to be able to like express yourself and like dress the way in a different way than you normally dress, like, why not go all out, you know?
Yeah, that's something I do miss actually is now that I work at a clothing store, like, oh dang, like putting together the fits would have been cool. But you know, well, there's always going to be other opportunities for that. We're definitely going to be like choosing our fits for the Beyonce concert.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think we talked about that. We got tickets to see Beyonce later this year.
Hells yeah. Super excited. September
3rd
can't
on her
come
birthday.
soon enough.
SoFi
Just kidding.
Stadium.
Huh? Oh,
It's
yeah.
on her birthday.
On her actual birthday, I feel like she's bound to like do something special for
I don't care. As long as she acknowledges that it's her birthday, I'm fine. Because if we're like, oh, she'll bring somebody out, I don't want to think like that. She'll be like, hey, guys, it's my birthday. All right. That was it. That's all I needed you to hear. So just acknowledge it's her birthday and it's special that we're here.
Yeah. Okay. So you don't want to get your hopes up.
No. Because it's going to be a show regardless.
No, I feel like just the fact that it is her birthday, like that is significant.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's not like she always, because there's a show on her birthday. Like this is going to be a thing on a Monday.
And it was one of the added shows, right? After the first few sold out.
Yeah. Do you think that, can you do it? I don't know if I can, but do you think you could like go this whole tour? Because it's not going to be the first stop on the tour. So without looking at any pictures or anything about what's going to happen,
Probably.
I think we should challenge ourselves to that. I always like look up like what it looks like and what this track list is going to be like. But for this one, I just want to see what happens. Because obviously Renaissance is like a classic album that we're going to listen to no matter what.
Yeah. How long will she have been on tour by the time we see her?
I don't know. I mean, definitely a couple weeks in.
Yeah. Well, I think we can do it.
Yeah. Damn. So yeah. So excited about concerts, excited about spring. Everything that's going on is great so far. So let's get into the scenarios. You ready for those?
Let's do the scenarios.
Oh shit. All right, I'll do the first one.
Okay.
Am I the asshole for not punishing my 7-year-old daughter for her play relationships? Ooh. My husband and I have a 7-year-old daughter together, Layla. A few months ago, Layla got a boyfriend, in quotes, Lucas. They are both 7, so it's obviously not a real relationship. They just hold hands sometimes and they draw each other hearts for Valentine's Day. This week,
Cute.
Layla was apparently holding hands with another boy who also sent Layla a Valentine's Day love letter. And Lucas took offense to it.
Oh, shit.
We found out because Lucas' parents called to tell us Lucas won't be coming over to us this Saturday like it was originally planned because he's mad at Layla. My husband wants us to punish Layla and wants me to talk to her about faithfulness. At first, I thought he was joking, but no, he was serious. He says that Layla cheated on Lucas and I, as her mother, should do something about it. I told my husband that Layla's 7, not a cheater, and I won't treat her as such. He accused me of raising a cheater and encouraging the bad behavior. So am I the asshole for not punishing Layla?
That's so funny. That's like so cute and funny. But also like hilarious that the dad thinks they need to punish her.
Yeah. That's very insecure of the dad. First, I don't know why that like rings as like somebody that's insecure.
Well, to answer your question, I don't think you're the asshole for not punishing your 7-year-old for her play relationships. But I think like a conversation could be had, but like why punish somebody who like maybe doesn't even know that they did something wrong?
Yeah. I think that it's definitely a conversation of like, hey, like you're obviously like you're 7 years old, so this isn't a real relationship, but like just think about how your actions affect people or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like it's not like you need to punish somebody for that.
Yeah. No, because like the dad is acting as if she like tried to hurt somebody on purpose, and I don't know, like is 7 old enough to like know better?
I don't know.
Like
I don't
7
think so.
is young. I don't know.
I think 7 you're conscious of like what you're doing, but I don't think to that extent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
So yeah, you're not the asshole for not punishing your daughter.
Yeah, not the asshole on that one.
And also, like, what's going on with your husband?
He hates cheaters. But geez, projection over here.
That's funny. Am I the asshole for telling my roommate that I don't give a fuck about her boyfriend's allergies?
Oh shit.
I'm a 24-year-old female and I have been living with my roommate Layla, who's 25, for about 10 months. We have a 2-year lease, so I really want to fix this so we're not miserable for the next year. And to start, I need to see if I'm in the wrong. Layla started dating Kyle about 6 months ago. Kyle has severe food allergies to shellfish, nuts, and soy, as well as a lot of more mild / moderate allergies. I use nuts and soy a lot in my cooking and some occasional shrimp. At first, Layla would tell me that Kyle was coming over and I would just adjust whatever I was planning on making if it was something that would be aerosolized, mostly nuts, and this was fine. He's never had any reactions at our apartment from my food, but it slowly escalated and now they want me to not keep any ingredients in the apartment that would cause him anaphylaxis, even if I'm not actively eating or cooking it while he is over. I've refused and they've both pushed back a lot on it, and I snapped a little and told them I don't give a fuck about his allergies. I can accommodate him to an extent, but I don't care if the contents of my cabinet make him uncomfortable. He doesn't need to be near my things at all. They're being very dramatic and insisting I'm going to kill him with my selfishness by having closed jars of nuts in the kitchen I pay to use. But I'm not going to have my diet restricted by someone who doesn't even live here. Layla isn't speaking to me at all right now, and I feel a little bad now because I do understand how serious allergies are, but also I think they're overextending boundaries by telling me what I can or can't eat when he's not even here.
Wow.
I feel like this one is kind of obvious.
Yeah, I think it's he's not even a roommate. Like,
No.
he's just a boyfriend. Do you think it would if the situation was if you think in a situation where people move in together with people with allergies that has to be discussed?
Oh, for sure. Like ahead of time?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Because like what if shellfish is your favorite food? Like, you know, you cook it all the time. I feel like it definitely should be discussed ahead of time. And I feel like, I don't know, like first of all, you didn't know that this boyfriend your roommates would end up like being over, or she said even if he's not over, they don't want her to have these ingredients around. Yeah. So that's just ridiculous to like think you can have that sort of say over what happens in somebody else's house, apartment.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
the guy shouldn't have to. Yeah, exactly. So not the asshole for saying you don't care because you shouldn't care because you're paying lease to live with your roommate.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's like you obviously understand like how allergies work. And
you're not
like,
trying to kill anybody. But.
Yeah. But at the same time, like you can only do so much. And like I think by already being mindful of what you do when he is around, like that's more than enough.
Mm. He gets like the sniffles and he goes, I think you made eye contact with a pair of nuts because I'm getting the allergies off you. And she's like, damn. That's how sensitive his allergies are.
Yeah. It seems like it.
Yeah, no, so not the asshole. You shouldn't give a fuck about your roommate's boyfriend's
yeah,
allergies.
Like they can just hang out at his place.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
All right, last one here. I'll read it. Am I the asshole for calling my sister stupid and her and her husband shitty parents from the start because of what they want to name their kid?
Oh, man.
Okay, so just a little context because this topic is incredibly touchy for me. I am a man who was given a woman's name at birth. A good example is naming your son Alice. It's not what my name is, but it's close. My parents are hippies and they gave their oldest son a girl's name to stick it to the man, and I will never forgive them for that. That name cursed me to be bullied and damaged my professional life in ways I cannot describe.
Oh, dang.
My sister is pregnant with her first child, a girl. She and her husband are ecstatic. It just sucks that she inherited my parents' stupid propensity to see their children as fashion statements. Last night, she revealed to the family the name of her daughter. It's Crystal. KRXSTXL. I'll have it written on the screen so you can see it. She wants to name her daughter Crystal. Once again, KRXSTXL. Confused, the name is pronounced Crystal, and now they wrote it like the traditional Crystal. I already don't like that name, but but at least it's appropriate. I was not surprised to learn that my mom helped them come up with the name. When she told me, I told her it was a terrible idea. If she wants to name her Crystal, just name her Crystal, just spelled the traditional way. She tried to explain to me why the X's are there, and I just told her it does not matter. She's naming a human, not a dog. I don't care what kind of fashion statement she's trying to make. This is a person who will have to live with that name until they die or has it changed. We got into an argument, and I told her I already see her and her husband as shitty parents for using their kid to be an off-brand with her name, and left it right after. Oh, damn. My sister's not taking it well at all. My mom's furious with me. I'm starting to wonder if I was too harsh. I will not change my opinion on the incredibly stupid name, but I'm wondering if branding her as a shitty parent was too far.
Dang.
Crystal.
Well,
That's KRXSTXL.
yeah. Shout out to you for looking out for this unborn child
Yeah.
and trying to stop the madness.
The madness.
Because, like, I get it. Like, you can name your kid whatever you want, but at the same time, like, you have to think about it, like, from their perspective and how they're going to grow up, you know? Yeah, like this person said, I feel like your child should not be your outlet for whatever meaning you want to, like, associate with it, you know?
Yeah.
Change your name if you want to, but, like, to put that on somebody else,
It's a lot.
it's just, yeah.
Yeah, because it just, like, you've heard people name, like, kids ridiculous things. Like, there's a director, his name is Robert Rodriguez, his kid's name is Rocket. And it's like, okay, it might be cool. It's not like he's gonna get bullied for being named Rocket, but it's still like, why did you want to put that on somebody, like, to have such an unusual name? It's not cool. Just name your kid Crystal. There's nothing wrong with the name Crystal. Just spelled like that is, what the hell is that?
Yeah. But are they an asshole for calling them stupid and shitty parents?
Shitty parents is tough.
Yeah, because they're not parents yet.
Yeah, you can't judge it just by that. But it's not a good start.
Yeah. I mean, and, like, she had an explanation too, but she didn't want to hear it. I kind of want to know the explanation behind the X's.
Yeah.
But I feel like it won't justify
No.
doing this to your kid. So, are they the asshole for calling the sister stupid?
Not for calling her stupid, I think that's fine. But the shitty parents thing, I think, was too far.
Okay. There you have it.
Half the asshole. There you have it.
Half and half.
All right. So that was our 3 scenarios. How do you feel?
Good.
Yeah, cool.
How do you feel?
I feel good. Yeah. I'm, like we said, we need to start recording more often, and we want to do, like, reactions too soon. Yeah, it was just about, like before, because we hadn't done an episode in a while, it was just about, letting it happen naturally.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you do kind of lose your rhythm sometimes if you don't do it after a while.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think just because I'm so used to making conversation on my show, it's kind of like easy for me to, especially obviously because we talk all the time.
Right.
But I get it. It's like it's not easy all the time. Yeah. So just get back into it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think it was cool. I think I'm excited about Coachella, like we said earlier, and I'll have a review for you of Coachella next time we do an episode.
Nice. Yeah, let's do that. I'm excited.
And then we'll also, next week on the 18th is our anniversary of being married.
Right.
Yes, 4 years. We got married in 2019, and yeah, I mean, the people know if they've been listening to the show since the beginning, because we did it last year.
We talk about it all the time.
You ready to wrap up?
Yeah.
All right. You can follow me on Instagram at I am Cesar Rod, and you can follow the show that I do, the other radio show, at The Rodriguez Show. What about you?
You can find me on Carlella Rod 89 on Instagram, and my plant page is Plant Parenthood OC.
Yeah, and then if you want me to produce a podcast for you, you could hit me up at Rodriguez Podcast. I renamed it from the longer name that I had before. Now it's just at Rodriguez Podcast on Instagram. And you can check out my work that I do for my clients, including the 30s, which Carla will be on. It was already out by the time this is out. Just go to at the 30s podcast on YouTube, and we'll even probably link it in the description anyway. So, yeah, it's Carla as a guest, but I'm usually on too, so it's like both of us are on there. So it's gonna be good.
I can't talk shit.
Can't talk shit.
I'm just kidding.
All right, guys. We'll see you next time. Remember to take care of yourself and each other.
Thank you for watching. Bye.